Hi, I'm John Crawford and I'm blind. Today I'm going to be sharing an experience that I had a few years ago. The reason I'm doing this is not because I'm trying to make this an all about me channel. This is so that I can share the life and times of a legally blind person and to share an insider's view of the world of blindness and visual impairment, to let you know the kind of things, the challenges we face and the things that we can and can't do, all through my own example, because that way at least I know they're accurate. Okay, so let's talk about it. Some years ago, I was a member of a church, and the church needed a new roof. The church didn't have a lot of funds in their budget to hire a roofing company to install the new roof. However, they did have the money to acquire the materials to put on the roof, and some members of our church were experienced roofers, and they said that with the help of other members of the church, they could get the roof installed and do it safely and do it well. And they did definitely know what they were doing, and they walked us through the process, and they got us all up on the roof and they showed us what to do. And within just a few weekends, we had a brand new roof installed. And I was actually able to participate in that. And I'm going to say that I am sure that there are other members of the blind and visually impaired community that have done jobs like this. I'm sure I'm not the only one. You find that people in the blind and visually impaired community are willing to try a lot of things that people don't think they can do. And that's why I'm talking about this, because people in the non-blind world really don't realize the kinds of things that we're capable of doing if we just put our minds to it. So I was on the tear-off crew. And those of you who have done roofing before know what I'm talking about. You get a shovel and you dig the shingles off the roof. And this is not a particularly safe thing to do if you're blind or visually impaired. However, we made some accommodations. For one, I had another person that was a member of the church who was also legally blind, who actually had worked as a roofer before. He got up on the roof with me and I took his arm and we walked around on the roof for several minutes, for probably 10 or 15 minutes, just letting me walk around the roof and get the feel of the pitch of the roof, the up and down, the hills and the valleys and all of that stuff, and the terrain and what it was going to feel like under my feet, where the edges were and all of that, for quite some time. Also to get over the initial dizziness I had getting up on, the vertigo that I had getting up there in the first place. Getting used to getting on and off the ladder, all of that stuff, so that I could get up there and really be helpful. If we had determined that I wasn't going to be safe up there, they weren't going to let me do it. But after about 10 or 15 minutes, just getting acquainted with the roof and the ladder and what I was actually going to be doing, which I had never done before, we got started and we started tearing the roof off. After that was done, it took us a couple of weekends to get it done because it was done mostly by amateurs with the direction of some experienced roofers. After a few weekends, we had the entire roof torn off and re-shingled. It was a pretty big job, but I will tell you that the pitch was pretty low, so it wasn't a really steep roof. The first weekend, we got up and down off of the roof using a ladder, and that was a little scary for me at first. You know, you kind of have to go around and get onto the face of the ladder and climb down, and that was a little scary for me at first. It took me a little bit to get used to doing that, but then we discovered that our truck that we were using to haul off junk, they let us use a big truck, and we parked the truck near the building to drop shingle and other things off of the roof into the back of the truck. And I was watching some of the more experienced guys, and they were climbing on and off of the roof using the roof of the truck. And once I got the hang of that, I liked that a lot better. That truck was very high up, and I really liked using the truck to get on and off the roof. So that just goes to tell you that blind and visually impaired people are always trying stuff. And what I'd like to ask everyone to do is, if you're blind or visually impaired, come in here and tell your stories a little bit about some of the crazy things you've tried that you think that maybe people in the sighted world wouldn't believe. Okay, guys, a short one tonight. I'm going to go to bed. We'll talk to you tomorrow.